I'm Ian Peterson. I'm doing my speech on gun control. On July 7th, 2012, James Holm purchased a movie ticket for the midnight show of The Dark Knight Rises at the Century Aurora Theater in Aurora, Colorado. On July 20th, he enters the movie theater and exits through the back door and leaves it open. After going to his car, he comes back fully suited with protective gear and armed with tear gas, an AR-15 rifle, a 12-gauge shotgun, and at least 2 handguns. After throwing in the tear gas, he opens fire, killing 12 people and injuring 70, stated by CNN. Listening to the speech will help you understand why concealed carry is so important, as well as stricter gun laws can help. Every person that entered the theater that night entered into a gun-free zone, but only the innocent people obey the law, and they're the ones that suffered or lost their lives. Holmes, like so many other mass shooters, could have been stopped if someone legally allowed to conceal a gun had one that night. If people were carrying guns legally to defend themselves, the community would be safer and reduce violent crimes. This can be said about a lot of mass shootings. Not enough people that they will need to carry a gun, but in today's society, unfortunately, you never know what's going to happen. Gun-free zones where people can go and relax knowing that they don't have to always be looking over their shoulders sounds like a great idea, especially in our society today, but it's proven more and more each day that a sign or rule put in place is no longer the only protection we need. It is said that in our society today, people need to be on guard at all times and think about our safety 24 hours a day. Although guns are not banned in most movie theaters, says Fox News, it was in the Cinemark Theater in Colorado, making an even better target for a coward like Holmes, knowing that all those innocent people could not defend themselves. There was a question during the investigation after the movie theater shooting: was this theater closest to his house or was it the biggest audience? But neither proved to be the case. It is believed that it is due to the ban on guns in the gun-free zone. Not allowing people to carry guns these days puts everyone at risk and renders them helpless. After the shooting happened, gun sales in Colorado increased by 41%, and firearms instructors noticed a huge increase on people taking classes for their concealed carry requirement. Many people were saying, "I didn't think I needed a gun, but now I do." 2,887 background checks were approved by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and conducted that Friday to the following Sunday, as stated in the Denver Post. The debate by many people is more guns on the streets will lead to more gun deaths. Unfortunately, that is true in states where the gun laws are very lenient and do not require permits, do not extend background checks to private sellers, and do not require you to register the guns. But it has been proven that states that impose more restrictions on gun users have the lowest rates of gun-related deaths in the Atlantic. In a survey of inmates in state and federal correctional facilities by the Bureau of Justice, prisoners who carried a firearm during the offense for which they were serving time in 1997, 14% had bought or traded a gun from a store, pawn shop, flea market, or gun show. The 1997 percentage who had acquired their firearm at a retail outlet represented a significant drop from 21% in 1991. The percentages of inmates receiving their gun from family or friends rose from 34% in 1991 to 40% in 1997. This clearly shows that the states with background checks can make a huge difference when buying firearms. So many people are so quick to think that banning all guns is the answer to all this country's problems, but that is not the case. I feel like changing the laws so that every state has the same laws and restrictions might be the better answer. One could argue that the best practice, states with the least amount of gun deaths, should lead the way. When looking at laws from state to state, there are too many variables. Like in some states, they have duty or retreat law, where the person has to try to flee the dangerous situation and avoid using a firearm if possible. In some states, that stand your ground law allows you to stay, and they took action because they're defending themselves to get out of committing a crime. The stand your ground law only leaves guns getting an even worse reputation. Making this country's laws the same for every state, as well as the needed restrictions put into place, can make a difference in the world we live in. A study done in 2013 found that between 1980 and 2009, states that restricted citizens' ability to carry concealed weapons saw higher murder rates than states allowed it. Data from a survey of more than 15,000 police officers, current and retired alike, found that more than 90% of them supported civilian concealed carry, citing the positive impact of prevention of crime. In another study done by the Journal of Quantitative Criminology in 2000, U.S. civilians use guns to defend themselves and others from crime at least 989,883 times per year. Biggest fear of criminals is an armed citizen more than a cop because they cannot tell who in the public is carrying a gun. Police officers can are clearly portrayed and stand out, making it easier to avoid them. Allowing people to legally conceal carry can also help in the long run to decrease mass shootings. Most mass shootings these days are in areas where guns are not allowed or do not seem to be needed, and if at least one person had a gun on them at the time of these shootings, many lives could have been spared. In conclusion, people in our community should be legally carrying firearms on them to make the community a safer place. It is better to have a gun and not need it than be in a situation where you wish you had one. This is all sad to say, but unfortunately in our society there are more cowards carrying guns to solve their problems or prove their point than in private.